Friday night, and the drinks are on my mind. The decision sets in, one that will churn your skin. The love is right, let them have their time. And I have this notion, let's keep these wheels in motion. In motion. You for what I did not know. Did you think I would let it go? Oh no. And in time, yes, I'll think it's absurd, but until then you'll leave your words. Well, lay on, lay on. Now it's time to defend your lies, lies you've been feeding me all this time. And will you reoffend? Oh darling, you say that you are innocent, but your words, they seem irrelevant, but still play on. Now it's time to defend your lies, lies you've been feeding me all this time. And will you reoffend? Oh darling, oh you have reached your lover's end. No more will we make pretend like we something to fight for. Oh. We had nothing to fight for. 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 wanted was love, but that was never enough. No, never enough. 'Cause you were chasing your dreams, now you can't redeem yourself. You were chasing your dreams, now you can't redeem yourself. Disregarding your name, your smell is all that remains. They say you're an SLUT, but that doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't sit well with me. We're all looking to be alone, and somehow, someday, we'll find what we're looking for. Till then, you'll still be a boy. To be alone, and somehow, someday, we'll find what we're looking for. Until then, we will all be yours.
Good evening, race fans. I'm Pirate here with Black Flag Racing TV, and it is Open GR3 time, Season 2, Round 4, and we come to you live from St. Croix, and we are the C connotation of the circuit, the big one, the long one, the one that's going to be 3.5 minutes a lap, there or thereabouts. Last week, though, that's where we were. That's the one. We were at Monza for round number 3. We had a massive incident beginning with a restart, and then we went on to have a crazy race. And this is where it leaves us after round number 3. PM10 Racing leads the pack. Kevin, the reigning champion, 11 points back going into this race, so a lot of work still to do over the course of the season, but there's still 6 races to go and anything can happen. Avalon inside that top 3, he's just a point behind Kevin on 50 points. 3 points back to Aaron, 46, 47 points for him, 46 for GMAC, excuse me, 46 also for Wiggy, Demos on 42 points, Panos in the BMW on 32, and 15 points to Canados and Ghost, who are 9th and 10th. That rounds out the top 10. And Miles, and I appreciate he's in that list twice. That's because for some reason he's registered twice on SLP. I will merge those 2 accounts later and join those together, and that will actually bump him up to 9th place with 20 points. So there we go, that's where we're at. But we move on, and we are here. We are at St. Croix, and they are doing a lobby reset. There was a bit of an issue with Canados getting in, so we're doing a lobby reset, so we might be a minute or 2 late with qualifying. That's the track we're looking at today. Really, really complex track. Lots of very different corners, lots of very challenging corners as well for the drivers. Sector 1 is quite complicated. Then it does get quite spread out. Lots of long straights, lots of interesting braking zones, and some odd corners that almost tighten as you come in and come back out again. You really have to be on your wits today in these GR3 cars. St. Croix, France, 10.8 km circuit, 6.7 miles, 24 turns. It is an original circuit, so invented by GT. But I'll tell you what, it wouldn't be a bad thing if they built this track, because it is awesome. Road type will be tarmac. Probably looking about 6 laps on the front end of it. Probably 18 laps for the full race. The front runners will be doing somewhere around the high 3-minute 20s, low 3-minute 30s, maybe on the medium compound tyres. Qualifying, I imagine, will be somewhere in the 325 to 328-ish, there or thereabouts. Hopefully, I can't jump across the lobby here because I don't think it's open yet. There was an issue with there's one person getting in. But hopefully the new lobby will be sorted. Let's jump in now, shall we? Loading in as we speak. A little bit of a new look for the banners and bits and pieces. Will be tweaked over the coming few days. Trying to make it a little bit cleaner, a little bit more interesting. You'll know at the top we've got the live timing. That'll be up there constantly throughout the race. We have also added this, which is a little time fuel data thing. When the race is on, you'll be able to see all of the data on the tyres and fuel, which I'll bring up intimately throughout the course of the race when we're talking about it and monitoring it. So everyone's starting to jump into the room, and hopefully this means that we will be getting cracking with qualifying very, very soon. Do really enjoy the track. I want to see if anyone's doing a practice lap, so we can have a quick look and see what sort of types people are churning out. If anyone knows how to turn the in-game music stays on when I go onto track, and I hate it, absolutely hate it. So hopefully we get that sorted out. Right, so racing for this he is currently still floating. He's currently 72. Yeah, that's 73 he's in right now. Start finish line is the opposite side of the track. It's about halfway round. This is quite a tricky bit into the bridge section, and this is a nice long straight. You'll see there's a great overtaking here with slipstream, depending of course on the exit out of that turn coming onto the bridge, but also into this turn here, this left-hander at the end of the bridge. You'll see one or two making potentially dives up the inside, but maybe even a little try around the outside. You have to be really brave in order for that to happen, but it would be interesting to see. Little lift there as you go round this sweeping right-hander before you get back on the power, and then you've got another nice long straight here to get yourself a little bit of slipstream. And I like the way you refer to the National Bridge Champion. There is 4 bridge drivers in the second, and we are still waiting for cannabis. We did have 11 signed up for the race today, but for some reason only 9 have arrived. I can have a look and find out who's missing. That'd be interesting. Who's missing of the 11? GMAC, looks like GMAC's not here. And Thanos, by the looks of things, has not arrived. So I think we're just waiting for Canados, who's just coming in. Right, so qualifying is about to begin, and I think we're just going with the 8 in the room because Canados didn't. Oh, Thanos is there. It's Canados that didn't make it, and GMAC didn't make it. So off we go. Qualifying is starting. 3:25 is going to be the. I think it depends really. I think we're looking 3:25, 3:26 for qualifying pace, and certainly race pace will be probably 3:28, 3:29, 3 minute 30. Everyone starts with half a tank of fuel, 2 options of tyres, the mediums and the soft compounds. Everyone will start on the softs without question. I can't imagine anyone starting on the medium, unless of course they feel they can take the softs the full 6 laps of each stint and they want to get rid of the mediums early doors. But I have a feeling everyone's going to start on those soft compound tyres, run for about, I think it's 3 laps around here on the initial half tank, and then it'll be a kind of 6 lap stints, possibly then another short later on. So definitely a 3-stopper. So I've been reliably informed. Good evening, Phil. Thanks for your patience. Yeah, just be warned. There is a 10-minute intro before every. In fact, the only time there isn't a 10-minute intro is if there's time constraints. So, for instance, when I do Thursday, tomorrow evening, for instance, I'll finish smoking Pirellis with about 10 minutes to spare before arrival starts. So generally, you won't see the intro then. I think I think you're spot on there, TJ. I think this would be awesome on GR1. It's a bang-on GR1 track, this. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be rubbish with the GR3 cars. I think it's certainly got a place for GR3s right now. People haven't seemed too keen on this track, but actually I think this track is better than people give it credit for. I think it's quite a good track, to be fair. I like it anyway. I suppose it's my choice really. I don't drive that often for it to matter that much. Good evening, Bandit. How you doing, buddy? Shame you're not racing this evening. But yeah, thank you, Bandit, for your footage. And some of that footage you gave me for Dixon's Dailies has been absolutely phenomenal. You really have experienced some absolute nutters over the course of the last couple of days of racing. Yeah, really looking forward to putting that one together. I think this is the best layout, to be fair. And we've got to do this again on Monday in the GR4, but in reverse. And you can blame for the reverse option on that. So everyone on their outlap will go on board with Avalon as he decided to go out first in surprise prize at the Porsche 911. One race left to GR4 on Monday. After that, we move on to a brand new series, 5-race series called Gauntlet, and everything will be decided on the day of the race. So you won't know what cars, what tracks, what settings. It's unpracticable for you. Rock up, you go in the room, and just before qualifying starts, the track settings are rolled or randomised. I've got a randomiser for it. They will be randomised, and they will be put up, and then it's go. There's no time for practice lap, nothing. You literally, you're told what class you need, you pick your car, you get in it, and off you go. So I suppose it does mean people have got to start putting liveries on the majority of their cars. So Patrick is on his hot lap, and you can see here, this sector 1. You've got the long straight with the kink from the line. You've got another long straight for you finish sector 1. Then this kind of sector 2 is kind of twisty. bit of a circuit, which requires just a little bit of nous, some good braking, some smart use of throttle control before you get to the end of Sector 2, and you've got another kind of section which is very similar in that it relies on your sort of throttle control and good braking, good exit speeds before you, and then when you get to the end of that section, it's then just flat out for a couple of sectors, and then the final sector's literally got just 3 corners in it before you go and cross the line. So pole position time, I still think we're looking at 3:25.5 there or thereabouts. Yeah, Saudi GR1 is a good shout for Singapore. Yeah, Saudi, you're right, man. Saudi is GR3, but there are some GR1 races in that endurance tournament, and that starts this Saturday. That's the Staying Power Endurance Series, beginning this Saturday. 2 hours of hardcore racing across different classes, different tracks over a 10-week series. Really looking forward to seeing how that is going to pan out. And our last endurance series for charity was an awesome event. And talking to charity, last week, anyone that was involved with, thank you very much, anyone that was involved with the charity event for ART last Thursday, a week tomorrow, a week gone tomorrow, of course. Over £1,200 raised in that event, and it was a really, really good laugh. There was somewhere around 80 people involved in that over the course of the 3 hours. So, yeah, thank you for everyone that got involved in that. It was a really, really awesome night. But we are back, of course, tomorrow with Smoking Pirellis from 7:15 F1, and that's the Elite Tier 1 Thursday night group, followed by the next round of rivals. That's Evo versus the Subaru Impreza, which is hotting up quite nicely. Good evening, Jason. How you doing, buddy? Good of you to join us. Hope work is treating you well. So Patrick has been overtaken on qualifying by Kevin. I'm pretty sure we've got a rule about overtaking during qualifying. Not really done thing, but clearly Kevin is a lot faster than Patrick here. So here we go. Patrick will cross the line. So 3:25 for the qualifying time. Kevin crossed the line with a 3:24.0. That is really, really quick. Avalon with a 3:29.4. Panos puts it on the front row, 3:24.6. Really, really hot out there. Demos with a 3:26.7 puts him on row 2. Alongside Stormfly with a 3:27.3. Thanos is 5th on row 3, 3:27.7, and Avalon just beyond a 3:29.4. So quite a spread in terms of lap times at this point. Wiggy's still set to set a lap. He's got out and done an out lap, but didn't do a hot lap, or at least he's coming in for more tyres. So I'm wondering if he struggled a little bit with the pace, or did he want to scrub off some fuel first? It looks to me that's what he's done. I know he's put some more on, so he's having another go. PM10 Racing in that gorgeous AMG Mercedes-Benz. He will come and cross the line. This will be the start of a hot lap, because so far he hasn't set a time. There we go. So just the 9 runners this evening from the 11 expected. No Canados seems he had trouble getting into the room, and GMAC couldn't make it. Yes, so while we're waiting for the laps to sort themselves out, the qualifying to sort itself out, we'll have a quick look over what's going on over the next few days. So tomorrow, as I said, we're back with Smoking Pirellis from 7:15, and then straight after from 9 PM. It is Rivals, the return of Rivals, of course, after a foray for charity last week. And then Friday night we are live with Eurotrips F1 for the, and this is the mystery round, I believe they're calling it the mystery round, or is it the week off? I can't remember. I think it's the mystery round this week. So I think all the settings will be revealed when the race starts. Hopefully I'll get that information a little bit sooner so I can put it all in the broadcast. Saturday we start our brand new Staying Power Endurance Series. Race number 1 will be at the mighty Suzuka in the GR3 cars for that first 2-hour endurance race. BOP GR3, very good time to 12, so it essentially emulates a full 24-hour race period, but over 2 hours of endurance racing. And then at midnight, we return for round 5 of the GTC High Prix Porsche Cup. Jay will be competing in the Division 3 event at midnight for Black Flag. That's at Autopolis in the Porsche 911. We then move on to Sunday evening, so technically Saturday evening, for the Division 1, Division 2 as well. Armin is competing, of course, in Division 2 of that, and this will be the drop round as well, so we'll find out who's dropped what points and where everyone slots in after they've dropped their lowest performing round. So those that have missed a race actually are probably in a much better position than those who haven't. So that drop round's always going to be, always mixes things up a little bit. So on pole currently is Kevin 77, that's 24.0 for him. He is about to start another hot lap to see if he can improve on that time. I'll tell you what's missing here. I need to fix something because I've just noticed the live timing is not in the correct place. To be fair, I was using somebody else's lobby yesterday to fix that, so I'm going to do a little repair on the fly, shall we? I use somebody else's lobby if they were playing pops and rubbers or stupid thing. When they were doing it, and right, there we go. That should be working better now. The epitome of professionalism, of course. Did I not mention GT Champions Friday night? So I'm pretty sure I said Division 3 was Friday night, and then Saturday night was Division 1 and 2. Maybe I've got it. Do you know what the confusing thing is, Jay? Because technically, it's not Friday night for me, it's Saturday, and it's really odd. Yes, so I may have got that wrong actually. So Friday night is actually the GT Champions Division 3, and then Saturday night is Divisions 1 and 2. Although technically Division 3 is on Saturday morning before the endurance on Saturday afternoon. João Felix bought or on loan. I thought he was on loan, to be fair, because he earns about £600 million a month or something crazy like that. But don't quote me on that. So there's your pole sitter, 3:24.0. There's just a few minutes left off qualifying. Really one more lap opportunity for everybody. There's Panos in the BMW. That's a good solid time for that BM, a 3:24.6. Putting him on that front row alongside Kevin. PM10 Racing 3:24.7. He's just got to find himself a tenth and a half to get on that front row. Has he got it in the tank? Demos is 1.8 seconds off PM10's pace. At the moment, Kevin, Panos and PM10 are looking to be the 3 challengers for the top 3 spots. Stormfly just 7/10 back. He is currently on row 3 in that Porsche 911. With just a tenth and a half back to the other 911 of Avalon. In 6th, Thanos in 7th place. That's a 1:27.7 for him, and a couple of hundredths back to Midas. In 8th place, of Wiggy. His best lap so far has been a 3:33.4. He has been worried about this race in that GT40. He's been struggling a little bit to get some good pace out of the car around here. And interestingly, they're going to have to learn this track backwards. The thing is, Paul's still in it. Paul's 11 points clear in the championship. So really looking forward to seeing if he can And you know, if you can't win this is the key. When you're in the lead of the championship, what you kind of need to aim to do is if you can't win the race, you want to make sure you are at the very, very least there or thereabouts when it comes to finishing. So you want to negate how far behind your championship rather than you finish. So if he finishes in second to Kevin's first, he's only losing 3 points in the championship race, which keeps him ahead by, of course, 8 points. And then you move on to the next race and you hope you can sort of do something there. Cost himself big points last week, of course. Big opportunity for him last week. Kevin had a technical failure, which saw him out of the race towards the end. And that left quite a unique position for PM10, where he'd already qualified on pole earlier in the race and could and probably should have gone on and won it, but made a mistake going into Ascari while chasing down VR46 and never got to close. Didn't have the time. He had the pace, but he certainly didn't have the time to close down and regain that first position. So it cost himself 3 valuable points, and 3 points. You say it's 3 points, but very valuable points. So Midas at the back of the pack, Thanos in 8th, Avalon Shadow 7th, Stormflyer will be 6th, Wiggy in 5th, Demos in 4th, PM10 will be 3rd. He's finished there. Hopefully Paul doesn't pick Inters, that would be useful. Panos is in 2nd, and Kevin has pulled out 3:23.5 around here in that Corvette, and that is some crazy. Who's that Panos lagging? That's insane lag on that BMW. Internet connection not looking great there coming through from Panos. It's all right, a straight line. It's going around the corners, it's awful. If someone comes up behind that and tries to overtake, it's not going to be pretty. So PM10's done. Is Kevin? I think Kevin's done now. Panos looks like he's still going quick. Can he nick that pole position, or at least open up the gap a little bit? Although it wouldn't really make much difference at this stage. Demos looks to me to be on his final hot lap. Can he steal a place on the front row from his compatriot, or at least jump up above PM10 Racing to start in 3rd position? At the moment, though, looking at the time, looking at the split, I'm not entirely sure that he is up at this stage. There's Wiggy. He's running in. He's going to be running from 5th. Snowflake running from 6th. He's still going. He's still on a hot lap, so could potentially nick an additional hill. How close is he? Because that is. It's got to be pretty darn close. If this stage is still going that quick, and he comes round that penultimate bend before the last corner here, nice and wide. Get that turned in on the power. Heading down towards the line. His target is 3:23.5. How close is he today? He's not going to beat the pole position time. Is he going to move up the order? He does. He puts himself on row 2 behind PM10 Racing with a 3:25.6. And that's a good jump from him. So, so that puts him on row number 2. There we go, qualifying done and dusted. It's Kevin in the Viper SRT. Panos will be in the BMW M6. And then PM10 Racing in that brilliant Mercedes AMG GT3. Stormfly in the 911 RSR. He is in the Viper TJ. It's clearly written there, Viper SRT. It doesn't look like a Viper though, does it? It does look like the Corvette, but I think it's just because we're used to seeing that livery on the Corvette. Demos is in that RX Vision GT3 concept, a car that GMAC loves very, very much, which is why he's not here today, because he had a little tete-a-tete with that car yesterday, and he's done himself, apparently. That may or may not be true. Wiggy in the Ford GT, beautiful classic car. Not super quick around here. I said Viper SRT, but it looks like the Corvette. Did I say Corvette? I may well have done. Do you know what it is? It's because Thanos is in the Corvette, and I saw the Corvette with that livery, and I think I just assumed that was Kevin, because he's using Kevin's almost the self-same livery in the Corvette, which threw me off a little bit. Midas and WRX, and of course me at back there. Avalon in 7th in the 911. So we are about to begin. We hopefully nothing untoward into turn 1, although there is a decent run down to turn 1, so shouldn't have too many problems. We hope, of course. So there's 1 light, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4. We jump out, we jump back in, and we are away. And everyone seems to be away relatively cleanly, no problems. Get all the information up. Let's move down the order, make sure there's nothing crazy into turn 1. We're on board with Stormfly running in 5th. And Thanos making a move on him already up into 5th place, dropping that 911 down into 6th position into turn 1. And Kevin already pulling away from the pack. He's got PM10 has leapfrogged Panos up into the 2nd row. Stormfly, big loser there, was on row 2. He's dropped down to 6th place. Lost a bit of time, which is right. Just want to move that further out. It's great to see the chat there, but it would be good to see the racers too. I've got to try and turn off this BGM music. It's bloody annoying. There's Kevin in the lead of this race with PM10 sticking absolutely with him, not letting him pull away at this stage. Demos is behind. He's already out of the slipstream range, dropping into the clutches of Panos, and Thanos up to 5th place. So we've got 4 Greek drivers in the top 5. It's annoying, isn't it? Really annoying. It's gone now. For some reason, when I jump into the race, the background music from the lobby keeps playing for a couple of minutes, and I don't know why it does. I don't know if it does it for anybody else, but it only does it when I'm spectating. It doesn't do it when I'm racing. So I'm wondering if it's a spectating thing. It's really annoying. I'll look at the settings later and try and nip that shit in the bud. Stormfly lost 3 places, well, 2 places. He was 4th. He's now down in 6th place, but with a good opportunity to get on the back of those. He needs to stay in that slipstream range, and across this bridge is a really good place to close up if you can. Avalon Shadows with 2 911s running 6th and 7th. Wiggy in that GT40 back in 8th place. He's got Midas in the WRX crawling all over him, and I wouldn't have imagined that the WRX was super good around here, but no, it hasn't. It's usually it's about a minute and a half, 2 minutes into the race and it disappears. It just does my nutting. So at the moment Midas in the WRX, and I didn't expect the WRX to be that good around here, but clearly it is. It's churning out something, and we'll see, of course, the WRX again tomorrow in the Lancer vs Evo Rivals Series. So PM10 Racing took the lead of this race, lost the lead of this race. It was that quick. He got past Kevin 77, but has conceded that place again. But these two, they're going to be battling it out all season. There's no question in my mind that these two are your favourites for the championship. Kevin, of course, the reigning champion, will want to hold on to that championship, but PM10 Racing has got other plans and has no intention of letting Kevin run away with it this season, and wants to make sure that he's involved from minute 1 to the very last knockout of the race. And this is the new tyre for the graphic. Right there you can see it. I do need to just select the edges and stuff, so you can see it a little bit better, but over the next day or so. The reason it's slightly out is I've changed my TV today, so the screen's bigger, so it's kind of thrown out everything just a little scratch. But I will solve that later on. It will be sorted for next week, well, tomorrow. So everybody at the moment, of course, we thought they weren't. Everyone started on those soft compound tyres. It's only half a tank of fuel, so lap 3 is the pit window. Does anyone choose to go in on lap at the end of lap 2? Going a little bit early and try something different to maybe nick a position or 2. Maybe go in, put on some medium compound tyres, fill to the brim with fuel, and kind of try and hang it out there for a little while longer than you would expect. It's certainly a potential strategy. It's an 18 lap race for the front runners, so whatever way you look at it, if you can do 6 laps on a full tank of fuel, then you are essentially going to do one stint of 3, 2 sixes, and then another 3. But how you decide to do that really will be down to you. But then I suppose if you are running a 3-stopper, you'll probably go 3, 5, 5, 5. Do you know? I don't know. Possibly you want to just be really racy at the end on some really nice sticky soft tyres. But Kevin leads away 0.7 of a second. Him and PM10 started to pull away from the rest of the pack. 1.8 seconds is the gap back to Demos, who's got Panos crawling all over him. So at the minute it's Demos, Panos and Thanos in 3rd, 4th and 5th. Although Thanos now just dropping back. So we've got the front runners in Kevin and PM10. We've got a little gap back to Demos and Panos fighting it out for 3rd place. A little lag there on that BMW of Panos there. Thanos is 2.5 seconds back. He's on his own at the moment. 2.5 seconds back from Panos. 2.7 clear of Stormfly. But they're all running on the soft compound tyre. We'll take a look at the end of lap 2. We'll take a look at the fuel, and we'll see just where people are at and whether anyone who has been able to look after the fuel enough to get a 4th lap in the first stint. That'd be interesting to see. Stormfly has Avalon for company as 9:11 versus 9:11 in this lap 2 already of St. Croix C in this GR3 championship. 3/10 of a second, 2/10 of a second is the difference between them two. Then it's 4.3 seconds back to Midas in the WRX. He's got himself around Wiggy, and Wiggy really struggling, as he thought he would in that GT40. But he could potentially play a long game going for maybe a longer first stint, and maybe nick a place if he can. If you can do 4 laps on half tank fuel, you are potentially looking at being very, very quick in the tail end of this race, because you can hang it out for maybe 8 laps, 2 sets. In fact, if you can do 4 laps in your first stint and then do 2 sets of 8, that's you done. That's a 2-stopper right there, and the race is done. Don't know if that's the quickest strategy. Probably not. I suppose it depends on how much you can save fuel and still be relatively quick. The gap between Wiggy and Kevin out front is 17.8 seconds, so not quite pulled out of that additional pit stop range just yet. So let's wait and see. Fastest lap of the race is already a 3:23.8. So his lap 2 was set out as he needs to go on, and he's just opened that gap up now. 1.7 seconds from PM10 Racing. Let's have a look as we get lap 3, how we're looking for tyres and fuel. There is the tyre and fuel situation for Kevin. I'm going to compare this now while I'm looking at it, because it's really I should have checked this before I am. Behave yourself, Andy, behave yourself and get this right. Something more like that. I'll tweak it later. So there we go. Kevin will definitely be competing at the end of this lap. He's definitely gone for just the 3 laps on that first stint with that half tank of fuel. PM10 also done the same thing. He went out like a rocket. Slightly better on fuel though. Although Kevin's slightly better on the front tyres. Demos there, similar situation, he'll be coming in that Mazda at the end of lap 3. Panos the same, as will Thanos. Thanos has been very, very fuel heavy, really giving it some beans. Now if you can continually be that heavy on fuel, later on in the race, I think we'll see those that can look after it a little bit better bearing down on him, and he may have to pit out of sync, which could cost him track position. Now you would expect with a lap this long that there will start to spread out, and already you can see the gap between Panos, Thanos and Stormfly is sort of 8 seconds between 3 cars, 8 seconds. There is Stormfly. He could potentially do a 4th lap in this 911, as could Avalon. So that does put a different complexion on this race, because they're only 16 seconds off the back of Kevin. Kevin's going to pit this time, so they're going to go ahead. Yes, they're going to pit on the following lap, but if they can maintain this kind of race pace while holding out the tyres for longer, so essentially going 8 laps rather than 6 on a full tank, I think these guys are going to be in with a really, really good shout. I'm genuinely starting to think it's a viable strategy here. But what do I know? Like I ever get that right. Avalon gets a little bit squirrely, a little bit wobbly, does hold it, Midas too far back to capitalise on that in any meaningful way in the WRX. He'll be picking at the end of this lap, as will Wiggy with that GT40. Drinks fuel like G-Mac is driving it. 1.4 seconds back he is from Midas. Top 3 into the pits as we expected. Thanos in. Stormfly will see him come straight right here. He's not going to pull in. Stays out. Absolutely stays out. Knew that was going to happen. As does Avalon Shadow. Now, can they go hammer time this lap and try and just close that gap? The gap was about 17 seconds from Kevin to Avalon when Kevin came into the pits. If they can now just ramp up that pace for this lap 4, as Avalon looking to make a move on Stormfly, and he does make that move. Does he make it stick? Abso-fucking-lutely he does. He is ahead of him, and he's going to be the first into the pits out of the pair of them. But as Stormfly has a little look up the inside, they are side by side. Little rubbing is racing. It is 911 versus 911. Little bit of action suddenly kicking off. Kevin into the pits. These two can smell blood. They can see that this strategy has legs. This possibility of 2 stopping this race, it certainly has a place here. Let's have a look at Kevin's strategy. I mean, he's gone for the medium tyres. He comes back out. He's in 3rd place, of course. Panos out in 4th behind him. PM10 lost a place in that pit window. However, Panos has only fueled for another 3-lap run here. So he's still going to have to, if he wants to 3-stop this race, he's going to have to run 2 long 3rd and 4th stints. PM10 Racing, he's gone down the same avenue as Kevin 77. He is now 1.6, 2 seconds back, but on the same strategy at the moment, these guys. So in terms of fuel, there's not much difference in terms of them for tyre and fuel wear. Not too much to speak of anyway. Demos, he's gone for a similar strategy, slightly underfueled for a 6-lap run. Maybe he's going for a 5-lap run here. Not quite sure what plays matter, or maybe he can get 6 laps out of that one. Not entirely convinced myself, but there we go. 6 seconds or 0.3 back to Thanos. He's also on those medium compound tyres and running long. Wiggy's gone for the other approach. He's gone for let's just go super quick on the soft compound tyres and see where I end up. And now, invariably, this is a strategy that Wiggy employs quite a lot when he is towards the sort of talent or the midfield. If he's not mixed up with the big boys, he'll generally go for something a little bit different, which is just go racing. Particularly if the car is one that's struggling a little bit, like he has been on this track in the GT40, is not go for these crazy long stints and run it out there for ages and fuel saving tyres, but just go hell for leather and see where that ends up. And so far he's gained him a place because he's now 3.4 seconds ahead of Midas in that WRX. Now he will be running a lot longer, of course, Midas, but if we can pull out a decent enough gap, it may just well pay off. So we will see Avalon and Stormfly. Avalon now just over a second clear of Stormfly coming into the last couple of corners, and they will pull into the pits. Now the gap to Kevin, 7.7 seconds from the back of Stormfly to the front of Kevin. That's quite telling because Kevin's really gone quite quickly this lap to try and negate that gap as quickly as possible. And there is some lag there from Kevin, some lag there from Panos. That's PM10 having a bit of a wobble, and it just seems that whenever it's kind of in his grasp, It just something goes wrong, and that has cost him loads and loads of time. That is a disaster for PM10. He was looking really comfortable. Yeah, he had lost a place, but his strategy was different than that of Panos ahead of him. He didn't have to worry too much, but just overcooked it into that last section of corners and was facing in the wrong direction. As you see Thanos clipping the wall in that Corvette coming out of turn 1. So that impetus he was trying to make up on the back of PM10 after PM10's error, he couldn't capitalise on that and is 2 seconds back. Avalon Shadow comes out in 6th place. He's gone for a long running stint with Wiggy just behind him. Of course, Wiggy's on a different strategy and will pit before he does. Stormfly also running the long stint on those medium tyres. These are the ones to watch because they went, they both lasted 4 laps in the first stint to everybody else's 3. Can they continue that and do just a 2-stop race here? Now the gap was 17 seconds when Kevin went into this before. It's now 24 seconds. So in order to, and the pit stop is going to be somewhere around 35, I think, 36. It's not a huge, crazy long one here. And also depends on how much fuel you bring on board as well. But Kevin, I think Kevin's going to need somewhere near a 40-second push to negate that pit stop, to essentially make that additional pit stop a freebie. So still some work to do. He is 27 and 24 seconds here, but he is still racing, remember. So he's got to take that into consideration as well. But he's got to make sure that Panos, although he is ahead of him, Panos is with him. Yeah, I thought he did. He was certainly behind him. It's a tricky corner that one, to be fair. And Panos actually closing on the back of Kevin at the moment. Is he able to put the Fridays on him and make a little move and get that BMW up into the lead here? And this BMW M6 is not a shabby car by any stretch of the imagination. And he's tucked in there in that slipstream. Does he have the pace to make a move into this big right-hander right at the bottom of the map? No, he doesn't. And he sticks in just behind and just allows Kevin to, at the moment, stay in the lead of this race. But he is not far behind him at all. And believe me, if the move is there, I'm sure he will take that opportunity for himself and say thank you very much. Running at the back of the pack, Stormfly's had a problem because he is now in 9th place. So clearly, he's caught the grass, he's had a little spin, he's had some sort of shenanigan. And now this puts a different complexion on this 2-stopper because now he's running in 9th place and he's stuck behind Midas, who might potentially, in terms of pace, will probably hold him up a little bit. Still having just a little bit more pace than the 911 that WRX will have in the hands of Midas. So Midas up to 8th place, that promotes Wiggy, of course, up to 7th place after those pit stops. He's tucked in nicely behind Avalon. He's going quite racy. Now here's the thing, Avalon is going to be holding him up. He's going to need to make this move, and it looks like he's about to do so into turn 1. He's tucked in nicely in the slipstream of that 911. Will he pull out and make the move into turn 1, or he's just going to hang on a little while longer before he makes that GT40 glide past the 911 and start chasing off up after Thanos in 5th position? And that's a great exit, that GT40. Just giving Avalon a little nudge up the road, saying, come on, get your ass moving, get that 911 moving. Let's get closer to Thanos. Let's use a little bit of bump drafting, a little bit of bump grind, and see if we can catch up on the back of Thanos and make this a race. That's how you should do during a race. That you've got an 11-second gap to the car in front. Rather than make the overtake, use that bump draft on these straights and work together. You can race each other later. Work together, see if you can close down on your opponents further up the racetrack. Thanos running really well actually. His best lap was a 3:26.9. In comparison, I mean Kevin's is a 3:23.8. So he has got pace to burn. PM10 3:24.9. Awful that last time out. Snapped it onto the grass, I'm reliably informed, and it's just set him back a little bit. Don't panic at this stage. Still plenty of racing to go, but it's that one thing that's at the moment. I think PM10 is on the verge of winning a championship, but there's been a couple of races where he's cost himself points. He lost out on 3 additional points last week, and has potentially cost himself some more this week in the great Kevin chase out, as I'm going to name it. He's currently leader of the championship here. How long will he stay that way? There is Demos, 5 seconds ahead, 5 seconds behind. No man's land. If this was World War II, it was Christmas Day, there'd be German and English soldiers playing football where his car is right now, because that is in between the battles. You've got the battle, of course, for PM10. I bet PM10's in a similar position, isn't it? So Panos is still on the back of Kevin. They are 6 seconds clear of Demos, but not as close as he was on that previous lap. Last lap, he was coming through here, right in behind the rear wing of Kevin 77, but just dropped off the pace a little bit. Like a blocker for the cars behind, if and when they get there. There is your race leader in the Viper, the Dodge Viper. At the moment, what's he dodging? Well, he's dodging the 8 other cars on the racetrack that would love to be in the position he's in right now and see Panos behind. Panos jumping into the pits. He went for a very short second stint. That will promote Demos up into second place. PM10 racing back into the top 3, but desperately disappointed, I think, that he's not currently running in second place. That cost him some time. Yes, he's got that pace back again, 3:27.2 that on that last lap. Demos did a 3:28.2. Kevin did a 3:26.4. So a lot of work still to do here for Kevin 77. But PM10 Racing, as I said earlier, his view will be, if I can't beat him, I want to finish just behind him and negate that points loss. And that will be what he'll be able to do. His position he's aiming for at the moment is second. The opportunity may arise, it may well arise, that he can nick first place. We've seen it happen this season already. He's finished ahead of him twice this season, once at Road Atlanta, and again last week at Monza. But can he do it again? That's the big question. Midas running in 9th place, just half a second back from Spoonflow, who had a big problem on lap 6 as well. A 3:34 on lap 4, 3:30, that's a decent lap on lap 5, a 3:33 on lap 6. So at the moment, Midas struggling to have any kind of consistency. But similar problem for Spoonflow. A 59, a 36, a 33. Not getting that car really dialed in at 911 at the moment, and is already 3.666, the numb of the beast behind Wiggy in that GT40, and he is tucked nicely up behind the rear wing of Avalon. Avalon getting a much better pace on those medium tyres out of that 911 than VR46 is at the minute. 31.8 is his quickest lap. For Wiggy, Avalon is 130.3, but did 31.4 on his medium tyres as his last lap. Wiggy really ramping up that pressure on Avalon now. He's on the soft tyres, remember, he's on a lower tank of fuel. To capitalise on that, he's got to make the overtakes as quickly as possible. He cannot be held up behind anyone for any length of time, or it really will cost him time and track position. So we'll desperately want, within the next 2 or 3 corners, to have an opportunity to make the move on Avalon Shadow. And there he is, 2.3 seconds behind the top 5. 4 Greek drivers in the top 5. PM10 sandwiched firmly between 2 slices of Greek either side. It's 2 Greek bread slices, 1 bit of northern cheese, and 2 more Greek bread slices. That's a proper sandwich, although lacking on the filling right now. Then, big gap, 10.5 seconds to Thanos in 4th place. in proper no man's land he is. His pit window, that will open again. We're on lap 7, so pit window will open for these medium tyre runners somewhere around lap 9, maybe lap 10 for those with a bit of bravery. Now it is an 18 lap race, certainly for these front runners, an 18 lap race. The question is, how long can they drag out these stints? I think the general consensus is this race is a 3-6-6-3 kind of scenario. There are other options available, but not necessarily going to be good ones. I do think, I still think for one, I think Avalon's in a good position. Doing 4 laps on the softs early doors, but it will only be a good position if he can get 8 laps out of the mediums again, out of the softs in the second stint. So Wiggy into the pits, that's his second stop. He has opted to go for the balls out soft strategy, filling up with fuel. How much fuel is he putting in? Is he going to go for a long stint here? That will take him out to somewhere like lap 13, maybe lap 14, which will give him a nice run on the softs at the end. But he's opted to stay with the soft compound tyres, but fill up this time. So he feels that the pace loss on the medium tyres doesn't make it worthwhile running a long stint for him. And he's going to run this long stint on the soft tyres, and at some stage towards the end of the race he'll put on some medium tyres and he'll get that job done. Kevin 77 still leads the way. He's now just started to ramp up that pace. He hasn't done a faster lap than the 3:23.8 since lap 2, when he laid down that gauntlet. I mean, and that was the motor racing equivalent of putting the white glove out of your pocket and slapping your opponent in the face and challenging him to a duel. And so far, nobody has been able to respond to that request. And we find that he is currently running in first place, 10 seconds clear of anybody else on the racetrack. A quick little rundown of tyre and fuel at this stage, shall we? This house looking for your race leader. He is bang on for a pit stop. Well, I estimate it to be somewhere around lap 9, but he's looked after the fuel quite well. So potentially lap 10. So the second stint, while the first stint was a 3-lapper, that was quite a hot stint, to be fair. So we're just slowing up the pace and tool saving some tools, not tyre and fuel, which is what he's actually doing. May let him stretch. I mean, possibly for this age, could stretch out to the tyre set suggests that fuel maybe not. Demos, he's in that Mazda. He's doing a good job. He will have to pit for me at the end of lap 9 if he doesn't just drop that pace down a little bit and look after that fuel a little bit more. PM10 Racing, he can stretch out to lap 10. He's probably had to rethink his strategy now. I think he was going to be very much on a similar strategy or the same strategy as the race leader, but that little dip onto the grass that just snapped the car from underneath him has cost him some time, and he maybe feels the best way to make up that time is by just changing the strategy somewhat. 8.9 seconds back, there's Thanos in the Corvette. That's Kevin's car from last season. Livery and car and everything. 9 seconds back from PM10 Racing. 7.9 clear of his compatriot and teammate Panos Bill. 32 seconds back from the leader. 7.9 seconds back from Thanos. That's when Panos sits in that BMW. That's the BMW M6 if you guys not to be confused with the BMW M4, which is a big bag of shit. 7.2 seconds is the gap to Avalon Shadow in the Porsche 911. Stormfly has now got back behind him as Midas dumps into the pits for his end of his second stint, and that is bang on the when you'd expect him to go in for that 3663 strategy I was talking about, which is not to be confused with 442, which is something very different in a very different sport. And that leaves 9 or 10 seconds adrift of Willie, who is currently running in 8th place on the soft compound tyres, but going long this time on those tyres. There's your race leader. 12 seconds is the gap now for Kevin in that Dodge Viper. He's been lapping in the consistent mid 26s to low 27s on these medium tyres, and I imagine we'll see him pit, if not this lap, certainly on the next lap. Although I think fuel-wise, I think he might be all right for one more lap. Depends on bravery, isn't it? To be fair, here, PM10 having that little wobble as he did has given Kevin options he didn't necessarily have when he started the race. When he started the race, it was all going to be about equaling strategies with PM10, but now things have changed a little bit. I think he can relax a little bit more, to be fair, at this stage. There is PM10's 3.3 seconds back from Demos. Let's not forget Demos, to be fair. He's running very, very well in that Mazda in 2nd place. And, while he's not catching his teammate, he is certainly not being rapidly caught either by Demos. There is Thanos for 11.4 seconds back there in 4th place. Really cut adrift from the rest of the pack. And Panos 6 seconds back with 11.4 second advantage over Stormfly VR46. And he's actually now on the medium compound tyre Stormfly. Has been since lap 4. The ideal scenario for him is to stretch these tyres out to lap 10. Sorry, lap 12, sorry. If he stretches his tyres out till... Oh, no, that's a problem. He's off the racetrack, hits the wall. If he can stretch them out to lap 12, which would be the ideal scenario, he will find himself in a very, very good position on soft tyres for the end of the race. We'll see how that pans out. Wiggy gone, not yet used the medium compound tyre. Still got that to do. A lot of grass being picked up by that GT40 that he's currently driving. As Thanos into the pits. That's the end of lap 9. So we can start to see how their strategies are forming. So essentially it's 3 laps on the soft compound tyres, unless you are in a Porsche 911, and 7 laps on a full tank with medium compound tyre. There is Wiggy. He's going to outrun, in fact the only car, I don't think he's going to outrun Stormfly, who will jump into the pits. I think it might even be later than lap 12, I'm looking at the fuel, as we can see there, and I wouldn't be surprised if he could hang that out to maybe lap 13, maybe 14. What about Avalon? Well, he's a fuel-saving master, but I think he's sticking to the lap 12 window quite comfortably there. PM10, he is onto those medium tyres. He is bang on the strategy still. The running 3, then running 7. He's going to have essentially it's 18 laps. So is he able to run this? Sorry, he did 3 and then he did 3 and then 6. Sorry, he did 3 and then 6. So we'll see. I'm not entirely convinced. If he has to do another 6, he's going to be in trouble, I think. If you could stretch this out, I mean, that's the ideal, is can you stretch this out to the end of the race from here on those medium tyres without compromising any significant pace? I mean, his pace has been good on medium compound tyres. The fastest lap being a 3:27. So the pace is not shabby, but it's how well can you make it go. So, where are we at? Just spilled Right, full rundown, shall we? Let's do that. So Kevin is still in the lead of this race. How much is he dominating? Well, after his technical issues last week, which was a big setback in his championship hopes, everything's back on track now. 9.4 seconds. The gap's come down a little bit. He has gone in the pits, of course. He's back onto the soft compound tyres. Is he going to run to the end of the race? Can he run to the end of the race? Doesn't look like it because he did 3 laps, then he did 6 laps. Is it going to be another 3 and then a 4 and a 4? It's probably going to be a 4 and a 4 to the end on soft compounds. Panos in the BMW up to 2nd place. He's still on those medium tyres, but he ran 2 stints on the soft compounds early doors. So his strategy is slightly different. He'll be pitting, I imagine. Let's have a look at his last few lap times. Probably lap 12 or 13. Let's say the end of lap 12 for the time being. Demos is on the soft compound tyre. He's had a couple of stops already. He's currently running 3rd. He's 2.5 seconds clear of PM10 Racing, but PM10 Racing, you can see Avalon there in the distance. He hasn't had his 2nd pit stop as yet. He's still out there running. I still think that's not a bad strategy to keep this going. You can go for 1 more lap. Although I don't know if you will. I think this lap 11 is going to be the final lap for that. I think it's just 1 short of where it needed to be. But so now if he did 7, lap 18 actually. Not a bad shout. He might make it to the end of this race if he runs the same strategy again. And I think he can run that on soft compound tyre. Stormfly. Now he can hang this out there. He's been very, very wily with his fuel and his tyres here. Been quite sneaky with the way he's done it. Done a really good job. I'm going to hide them for the time being and bring it up a little bit later. But he's definitely been a little bit wily with his tyres and fuel. You can see, you've just seen just how much he's still got left in the tank. Now that can easily take him past sort of lap 13 as it currently runs. Certainly end of lap 12 will be bang on within reach, really easily within reach. Now what that means is that with a full tank of fuel and some soft compound tyres, he's running to the end of this race on some pretty darn quick tyres. There's still potential here for an upset. Thanos 2.3 seconds behind. He's on those soft compound tyres, but can't run those from here to the end of the race. I don't think they've got. Bearing in mind, he's the best he did. I don't think even with the fuel he can make it to the end. So without question, he's going to have to pick him. Wiggy running in 8th place. He's still on those soft tyres. He loves those soft compound tyres. He's running quite long. 1 more pit stop for him. Or 2 if he chooses to go on the soft compounds yet again. And minus the WRX. That WRX just struggling now, pace-wise, to keep up with the rest of the pack. And that's why the lap doesn't help either. Gap starting to open up out front. It's 15 seconds now for Kevin in that Dodge Viper. As we just see him lagging around that corner, and I thought he was diving into the pits, but straight over the pit lane line. Now it's funny, you can get a pit lane penalty for crossing that and going into the pits. You don't get one if you cross it outside the pits. And he just put in the fastest lap of the race there with a 23.612. So no thought of race consolidation, managing pace. He is on it now. Panos into the pits. This will be his second last stop, third last stop. Demos running in second. He will have to pit somewhere around, I suspect, lap 15 which will take him to the end of this race. That's PM10 racing back up into the top 3. Stormfly up into the top 4. And Thanos is in. I've been in and back out again. Panos is now back out. There he is. Slots in just behind Thanos. Wiggy is coming through now. Avalon in the pits. Midas coming through. So Avalon will come out in last, but he's going to run to the end of this race from this point. So there are cars in front who's going to have to pit. Midas will have to pit. Wiggy will have to pit. Panos will definitely have to pit. 5 laps. 5 laps on those soft tyres. Not enough fuel anyway for me. Not he's only doing 3 laps and a half a tank. Stormfly is going to come and pit at the end of this lap, and he'll do a similar thing to Avalon. Do a similar thing to Avalon. He'll jump into the pits and run to the end of this race. And he's challenging Panos here, but it looks like Panos just has that extra little bit of vroom, the vavavoom in that BMW at this stage of the race. Nice fresh tyres and not managing very old mediums home to the pits, of course. Thanos, half tank fuel he's got on board, but he's got some they're reasonably warm tyres, so he's going to have to pit again, and he's 15 seconds back from PM10. Now, fuel wise, I'm not entirely sure where we're at for an 18 lap race. An 18 lap race, no way for me. But what do we know? 4.9 seconds is the gap to Demos, who's running in second place, and he is now 21. So you heard it here, folks. 21 seconds back from your race leader, Kevin 77, who has just gone hammer time. 3:23.612 on his last lap. He's coming to complete this lap, and but he's 1.1 seconds down on that time. So not quite putting in a blistering, but it's not super slow. Well, 4.9 seconds the back Avalon is. In terms of pace, steady was in the 331s on those medium compound tyres, compared to Midas, who is capable of a 331, but that's a high 331, and been very, very inconsistent. His most predominant lap times are around the 27 mark. Anywhere between, so he's lapping anywhere between 3 minutes 30 and 3 minutes 37 on a regular basis. Wiggy with his fastest lap on lap 9, 3:29.2. Looking pretty racy at this stage. We'll have to pit though. Those tyres are looking ropey. So Kevin leads the way, 22 seconds is that gap, 22.5 seconds in fact is the gap from Demos. PM10 still 4.5 seconds back, not closing as quickly on Demos as I think he would like to. I think it's going to be a struggle for him to make it to the end here with 5 laps still remaining. Yeah, he's going to go on the soft compound tyres. Well, we hope he goes on the soft, so we're going to intermediates of course, and then gives it some beans towards the end. But I think he needs to be a bit closer to Demos if he wants to make that count, because Demos is on the soft compound tyre. He will have to pit again, probably a bit sooner than PM10, but I'm sure PM10 would rather not have to go on a massive chase down of the guy in second if he can get ahead of him at this stage of the race. Panos in 4th and Thanos in 5th place, just 1.5 seconds separates those two. The BMW M6 of Panos, of course, and there is Thanos in the Corvette. It's 1.8 seconds. Then we've got a nice big chunky gap. It is 21.3 seconds back to Midas, who is 4.3 seconds clear of Avalon, 8.9 clear of Stormfly, both have been into the pits. And Wiggy brings up the rear, but he's on those medium tyres to the end of this race. Without question. Fast up Kevin is still 3:23.6, not improved on that just yet. That's not to say that he won't do it, but just to show the difference in pace. Now Wiggy's no slouch by any stretch of the imagination, and he's always there or thereabouts. He's currently 6 seconds almost off the pace of Kevin in that pace. 24 seconds is the lead. .7 seconds gap to Stormfly at the moment for Wiggy, and you know it's not an easy gap to make up. He's on the medium compound tyres, and Stormfly's on those racing softs. We've got 15 minutes left in this race. If we just go past that 45-minute mark, we're at Croix C. This is the Black Flag Racing Team Open GR3. This is season 2, round number 4. Here at Croix. Just a few rounds left, and it's already, I said just a few rounds left. There's loads of rounds left. There's 6 races after this, guys. 6 races. And it's hotting up already, the race for the championship. Kevin 77 is currently 2nd in the championship behind PM10 Racing, who has an 11-point lead. That lead is about to be eroded by almost half if PM10 cannot get himself onto the second step of the podium. He needs to get up a step 2 if possible, but in order to do that he's going to have to start putting pressure on Kevin, and being 24 seconds ahead, that is the epitome of absolutely no pressure. And it's just such it's such a hard thing to race against somebody that week in, week out you know is absolutely going to annihilate you. It must be so destroying. I don't know how these guys cope with it, because if I was one of those front runner races, I don't know how I would cope week in, week out, turning up to a competition knowing that no matter how well I drove, I was never going to win a title. But you know, that's the nature of the beast, and everyone's racing everyone, and that's kind of how it works out. So it will be good to see if PM10 Racing is pushing right to the wire. But today at the moment, things are very different, and those technical problems are a thing of the past for Kevin, and he finds himself steadily winning this race. I know I was going to have a more about it. 26 seconds is the gap to Thanos. Thanos is going to pit very, very soon, which will give Avalon a little boost up the order. Panos, I'm not entirely sure if he can make it. He might actually make it to the end. No, I don't think he can. If we're looking at lap 18, and these laps are only doing 3, these tyres are only doing 3 laps, Panos is actually going to have to stop again. Yeah, that's a bit of a disaster, because that will put him behind his teammate Thanos, and behind Avalon Shadow. Doesn't have to pit again. PM10 Racing, same position. He's going to have to jump in and have a little blast on some soft compound tyres. Demos also going to do that. So the question is, when do they go in? And can PM10 usurp that 3.3 second gap that Demos has over him at the moment? In terms of lap times, Demos in the last few laps has been relatively inconsistent. 3 minute 30, 3:26, 3:26, and a 3:28. PM10 has been bang on the money consistent. 27, 27, 27. So if he can continue doing that, and let's be fair, we know Demos has done a couple of 26s in there, but he is capable of not doing 28s and doing 30s while he's doing the 26s, and that kind of negates any gain that he gets from the quick laps. He's not been able to consistently do it. So Kevin in for his final stop, 24 seconds clear. Now the only person behind him that doesn't have to stop again is there, and he's 1 minute 13 back. So yeah, it was a viable strategy when it was 25 seconds. It was still probably a viable strategy when it was 40 seconds. Not necessarily a viable winning strategy at 1 minute 13, but still a good strategy all the same. So Kevin in, Demos in, PM10 Racing in. What about Panos? What's Panos doing? Is Panos coming in? Is he staying out? Who knows? Nobody knows. Here he comes. Does he pull to that right hand side? Off into the pits. No, he doesn't. Panos is staying out for a couple more laps. He will still need to stop though. Just the question is when. So Kevin comes out. He's running to the end of this race. 15 seconds clear of Panos. Demos comes out of the pits. He is 3.4 seconds clear of PM10 Racing. That's the job that PM10 Racing has to do to get himself into second place. Remember, Panos still needs to go into the pits before the end of this race and see Thanos in. That will promote Avalon up to 5th place. So there is a potential, an outside potential, but there is a potential top 3 here for Avalon. Thanos does come out ahead of him, but Avalon's up to speed already. But he needs to get his move done, and he get this done quickly, because Thanos is on nice, fresh, racing soft tyres. Avalon Shadow's going to need to make this move if he can. He's only half a second back, but already Thanos is just getting that throttle down, just getting that car settled, and starting to try and pull it away. Avalon did his fastest lap of the race on that last lap 14 as well, trying to make up this extra position. Stormfly had an issue after the pit stop and never really got himself back into contention. Yeah, he's running to the end of this race. He's going to be pre-racing, but he's got 7 seconds to make up an Avalon before he can even start thinking about hitting the top 5 or top 4. Thanos 20 seconds off that top 4, not getting in there. I think his biggest problem is going to be this: the Avalon Shadow just behind him. Now I know the gap is not ideal for Avalon at the minute, but Thanos has got to be concerned with that driver behind him, not the driver in front of him right now. That is the driver in front of him. That is Demos. Sorry, PM10 there. Then we've got Demos, who's 2.6 ahead of PM10. He's in the European Mazda. He is on racing soft tyres. He came out 3.5 seconds ahead of PM10. He's already closed that gap by almost a second. Panos does need to pit. That will knock him out of the top 3. It will promote Demos. It will promote PM10 Racing. But they will still be some way behind this guy, the current championship holder. So he is the champion season 1. He is currently running in the 1st place. And what a way to demonstrate that you are back after a bad week than to put in fastest lap of a 3:23.6 and absolutely smash this track. Now I wonder what he's been doing all week to test his limitations of his wheel. Can anybody smell practice? Because it doesn't matter how talented you are, practice always makes you better. A bit of lag there for Kevin, which is unusual. Don't usually see any lag from him, but a bit of lag coming out of the final turn there. Loads from Panos, but we've seen that the whole race. That connection is not very stable at all. Running 16 seconds back from the leader. Into the pits he goes. Demos will take 2nd place. PM10 Racing, 3.5 seconds was the gap after the pits. 2.8 seconds, it is 1 lap later. We're on lap 16 of what will be an 18 lap race here. Will it be 18 laps? I think just 18 laps. Might only be, I think it might only be 17. Looking at how much time's left. That's what we're looking at, 3 minutes. That'll take us to 56. I don't know if we're going to make an 18th lap. I think actually Kevin will make the 18th lap. I don't think Demos or PM10 Racing will. So it will just be 2 laps of racing for these guys. So lots of work for PM10 to do if he wants to get one more step on that podium. And that distance actually is going to ruin, it's really going to ruin, as he did at Monza, the little problem he had into Ascari chasing down Stormfly at the end of that race. He's going to rue that little foray into the grass that cost him 5 seconds early on in this, because at the moment that 5 seconds is the difference between being second and being third. Wiggy running those medium tyres to the end of this race. He's got Midas, who's on soft compound tyres, crawling over the back of that GT40. And that, I mean, if a bloke looked at a girl like that, the Me Too brigade would be diving all over him the way that Midas is looking at the back of that GT40. He is absolutely looking for any way through on the back of that. Stormfly 18 seconds up the road. He's 2.6 behind Avalon. Can he close that gap? Maybe the battle is between Avalon and Stormfly, not Avalon and Thanos, because that gap's opened up to 3.6 seconds. Avalon just couldn't get the pace and make that car work for him into that top 5. Thanos 8.5 seconds back from Panos. They're all losses, isn't they? It's Minos, Thanos, Panos, Kevinos, Demos, Paulos, Patrikos, Stormflaus, Rugios. That's what it'd be like if it was a green pie, although it almost is. So 15.7 seconds is Panos to PM10 Racing. So I think they're our top 3. It's whether, of course, PM10 Racing can put the moves on Demos. And he's got a big bag of moves, but can he pull those moves out and lay them firmly at the feet of Demos and say to him, these are my moves, what do you think about my moves? And we'll certainly see soon if that move is in the tank today. 2.2 seconds is the gap. He's taken half a second out, but it's taken nearly a whole lap to do so. And I'm just looking at the time, and I don't think, I think Kevin, where is he? Kevin is on lap 17 already. He will get one last lap at lap 13. Demos doesn't look like he's going to. We're looking at the time here. No. Lap 17 is going to be his final lap of the race as he crosses the line with PM10 Racing now 1.7 seconds back. So he really did, in the last sector, ramp up that pace against that Mazda. So we're now seeing the big chase down. It's PM10 Racing chasing down Demos. 1 lap shootout for the second step of the podium. And that's all that separates them. Literally this. That's the view from the front of PM10 Racing's car. That's what he can see. That's his target. And he is going to hunt it down. And you can see, you can almost see, you can almost smell the determination on his face. Now I'd love to be looking at his webcam right now. And you can actually see him racing live from his perspective. And I would love to see the expression on his face. And see the level of concentration while he hunts down this second place. The gap hasn't come down here in the first couple of sectors. Has Demos just held something back in the tank just to make sure that he can give it a final push at the end here. 4 tenths down is PM10 Racing, coming into sector 3. And 1.4 seconds is the gap, 1.5. He's just drifting out. He's taking a couple of attempts out of him already this lap. Can he get closer for 1.469? 69. And here he goes. We're at St. Croix C. This is the Open GR3. This is season 2, round number 4. We are Black Flag Racing. And this is what Black Flag Racing is all about. It's this tight racing to the very, very last. And we go into this section here. That's a really, really good little foray through that section for PM10 Racing. Still 1.4 seconds, 1.5 seconds. Demos got a really good exit, which just allowed him to pull away. And this is what I think PM10 Racing needed to be in the slipstream zone here to be able to make that move. But it really depends on how Demos can see this out, because it's going to be about holding your head, not making a mistake, not clipping a wall at the very wrong moment. And we see the time tumbling. PM10 Racing seems very much quicker in this section than anybody else, apart from Kevin, of course. Kevin's just super quick everywhere else. And the good thing is Kevin will make another lap, so we don't have to worry about seeing him cross the line at this stage. We are watching this big chase down into the penultimate sector. There's this and one more. How close is he going to be as they get into the braking zone here? round this big right-hander, and the gap is down to almost a second. And how quickly can Demos pull away? Not quickly enough. PM10 Racing is hunting this down to the line. Has he got anything left? There's certainly enough fuel there. That's not going to be a problem. In fact, he probably could have fueled less and made it to this stage. But this is where it goes off. They're into the final sector. He is faster than he has been this whole race as he chases down Demos to the line for the second step of the podium. Whatever happens, they're both going to be top 3. But Demos rounds the penultimate corner. One more turn to go, and he's safely kept away from PM10 Racing. Look how much closer he is coming out of the last corner. He will be slamming that accelerator through the floor. There's going to be a big, massive dent in the floor after that. And Demos does hold on for second. PM10 Racing comes home in third place. But what a 2-lap chase down that proved to be at the end of that race. Pados will come home 21 seconds back in fourth place in that BMW. And he is lagging home. He's lagged his way for around 17 laps and lags across the line. Jiggly. Thanos in the Corvette comes home in 5th place, 6.4 seconds back. Avalon Shadow, what happened to him? He's had a massive smash. Those tyres have given out on him. He has crashed, and that has knocked him way down the order. Stormfly, despite, he's had a crash as well, but just makes it home. State of those tyres at the end there. Let's have a look at those. They were ropey. They are ropey. Midas home in 7th place. Tyres looking a little bit better. Avalon Shadow, look at that. There is no grip left on those rears. Is Wiggy going to catch him? He is getting a lot closer. I think he's too far back. Avalon crossed the line in 8th place. Wiggy comes home in 9th place. Just not a good day in that GC40. Could not get that dialed in. And Kevin, the only driver who made 18 laps here, and let's be fair, he was super quick. But PM10 Racing cost himself that again he's cost himself, so that'll be 2 more points. In 2 races he's cost himself 5 points with little mistakes, little spins that were within his control, and those 5 points are going to make all the difference come the end of the season. In fact, if he loses this championship by 5 points, he's going to ruin those 2 mistakes, the 3-point loss at Monza and the 2-point loss here today at St. Croix. But Kevin coming home 26 seconds clear of anybody else. In fact, 1 entire lap more than anybody else in this race, which is a big improvement from last week when he, of course, didn't finish with technical issues. Just a few more turns for him to go, and it's a bit rubbish when no one's racing so he finished. Fastest lap of the race, of course, with 23.612. What can you say? It's been a dominant performance again from Kevin, as we see in every single race. And as I said earlier, it must be so soul destroying to come into these races and know you're quick, and know you can put in some decent laps, but also know that your work is absolutely cut out for you. That it's like the amateur tennis player turning up to his amateur tennis club and then realising he's got to play Pete Sampras every day. It's not pleasing. And there he goes, crosses the line in first. Good solid win for Kevin. That is a wrap, folks. Good solid win for everybody. Let's get that screenshot so it's forever held in posterity for all to see. So there we go. That's GR3 over and done with for another week. We move on. Next week we are where Croix. I'll tell you. Next week we will be.
I'm not sure how to answer that.
I don't know why my phone's trying to answer that question. We're at Willow Springs, and it is which Willow Springs is it? It's Big Willow. Love Big Willow. Big favourite of mine. Going to really enjoy that next week. I kind of want only a few people to turn up so I can race it, to be honest, but there we go. That's not a hit. If we can get 15 people, that'd be awesome. But no, what a great race from everyone involved. thank you very much for joining me. I will sort out my little issues with the screen sizes. So there we go. Tomorrow we are back for round 7 at Singapore for Smoking Breeze Racing Team or Racing Club. That's on F1 2022, and that'll be immediately followed by Rivals back here on GT7 with Black Flag Racing TV. All that's left to say is congratulations to Kevin77, to Demos, and to PM10 Racing, your top 3 in this GR3. I've been over Pirate. This has been Black Flag Racing TV with Black Flag E Racing, and yeah, it's been emotional. Laters, bitches.